Ever wondered why so many millennials and Gen Z are drowning in debt? It's a question that's been on many minds lately, and today, we're going to dive right into it. Let's start by painting a picture of the current debt climate. The average millennial, those born between the early 1980s and the mid-1990s, is saddled with a debt of just over $30,000. Meanwhile, the average Gen Zer, born between the mid-1990s and early 2010s, is already starting to feel the weight of debt, with the average hovering around $10,000. That's right, folks, even the youngest of our workforce is already feeling the pressure. So what's causing this surge in debt among the younger generations? It's a complex issue with multiple contributing factors, but three major culprits stand out: student loans, credit card debt, and housing costs. Student loans are a significant factor, with the cost of higher education skyrocketing over the past few decades. Many millennials and Gen Zers find themselves taking on hefty loans to cover these costs, leaving them in debt even before they start their professional lives. Next up, credit card debt. With the allure of instant gratification and the ease of swiping a card, many young adults find themselves falling into the credit card trap, accumulating debt faster than they can pay it off. And finally, housing costs. With real estate prices soaring, many young adults are finding it increasingly difficult to afford homes. This often leads to taking on substantial mortgages, further exacerbating the debt situation. These factors, coupled with stagnant wages and a competitive job market, have created a perfect storm for millennials and Gen Z, leaving them knee-deep in debt with seemingly no way out. So, it's clear that both millennials and Gen Z are facing significant financial challenges. But how do their situations differ? That's the question we'll tackle next as we delve deeper into the debt dilemma facing our younger generations. Stay tuned for the next scene in our exploration of the millennial money maze. Scene script: dive into the financial world of millennials, a generation defined by student loans and the 2008 recession. Millennials are often characterized by their heavy burden of student loans. The cost of education has skyrocketed over the years, making it almost impossible for some to graduate debt-free. Student loans are a significant factor contributing to the financial woes of this generation. It's a specter that looms large over their financial futures, a tangible reminder of the high price of education. But that's not the only factor. The 2008 recession also had a substantial impact on the financial landscape for millennials. This recession came just as many millennials were entering the job market, and it left a lasting impact. Many found themselves unemployed or underemployed, struggling to make ends meet in a challenging economy. This struggle often led to an accumulation of debt as they tried to keep their heads above water. Now let's talk about housing. The dream of owning a home has become increasingly elusive for this generation. The housing market has seen a significant increase in prices over the years, making it difficult for millennials to break into the market. This has led to a generation that is more likely to rent than own, further contributing to their financial strain. But it's not all gloom and doom. These financial challenges have shaped the way millennials view and handle money. They're more cautious with their spending, often opting for experiences over material possessions. They're also more likely to save for retirement earlier than previous generations. And while they may be more comfortable with debt, they're also more committed to paying it off. These factors have created a unique financial maze for millennials. It's a maze filled with high education costs, a challenging job market, and an elusive housing market. But it's also a maze that has led to a generation that is financially savvy, resilient, and determined to overcome these challenges. Having seen what's keeping millennials up at night, let's shift our focus to Gen Z. Welcome to Generation Z, a group who entered adulthood in the digital age and during a global pandemic. It's quite a unique situation to say the least. But how does this shape their relationship with money and debt? Let's dive in. Gen Z's debt landscape is a bit different from that of their predecessors. One of the major hurdles they're facing is the increasing cost of education. Tuition fees are skyrocketing, leaving many Gen Zers with a hefty student loan debt right out of the gate. It's like starting a race with a weighted backpack. But that's not all. The global pandemic has thrown a wrench into the job market. Many of the jobs that were once considered stable are now uncertain, and new job opportunities are not as plentiful. This has forced many Gen Zers to take on debt just to keep up with their basic needs. And then, there's the lure of easy credit. With a few taps on a smartphone, Gen Zers can access credit cards, personal loans, or buy now pay later schemes. It's easier than ever to spend money you don't have. This can be a slippery slope, leading to a cycle of debt that's hard to escape. Despite these challenges, Gen Z is not sitting idly by. They're harnessing the power of the digital age to their advantage. They're using budgeting apps, learning about personal finance on social media, and exploring innovative ways to earn money online. They're also more open to discussing money and debt, breaking down the stigma and making it easier to seek help when needed. So, while the debt landscape for Gen Z may look bleak, it's not all doom and gloom. They're facing these challenges head-on, armed with a digital savviness that previous generations didn't have. So, we've seen how Gen Z's debt landscape differs from that of millennials, but what are the common threads? Let's explore that in our next scene. Stay tuned. Despite their differences, millennials and Gen Z share some common ground when it comes to debt. Now, let's put this into perspective. Both generations have been launched into a world where the economic climate is anything but forgiving. High housing costs are a shared challenge that has left many from both generations feeling the pinch. It's like running a race with a boulder strapped to your back. The finish line, in this case homeownership, seems like a mirage that keeps moving further away. In tandem with this, we have wages that are more stagnant than a pond with no inlet or outlet. Imagine, if you will, working tirelessly day in and day out, but your earnings aren't keeping up with the rising cost of living. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole at the bottom. No matter how much you pour in, it's never enough. This is the reality that has been bestowed upon millennials and Gen Z. These factors, high housing costs and stagnant wages, are like a 1-2 punch combination that's left both generations staggering. The impact is profound, shaping their ability to save and invest for the future. It's a bit like trying to build a sandcastle near the shoreline. Just when you think you're making progress, a wave comes crashing in, washing away your efforts. The result? A generation of young people who are living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to put away savings and finding it difficult to invest in their futures. It's like being stuck in a financial quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. But it's not all doom and gloom. Both generations are known for their resilience, creativity, and adaptability. They may be down, but they're certainly not out. They're navigating this maze of financial hurdles with determination and innovation, displaying a spirit that refuses to be quashed by the weight of debt. With these shared challenges in mind, what can both generations do to navigate their financial futures? Stay tuned as we delve into strategies for debt management in the next scene. Debt may seem daunting, but there are strategies that can help millennials and Gen Z navigate their financial futures. Let's delve into some of these practical approaches, shall we? Firstly, let's talk about budgeting. It's the cornerstone of any effective debt management strategy. It's about understanding your income, your expenses, and how they balance out. It's not about restriction, it's about freedom, the freedom to make informed decisions about your money. Start by tracking your expenses, categorize them, and then prioritize. It's like planning a road trip. You need to know your destination and the best route to get there. Next, let's discuss high-interest debt. It's the big bad wolf of the financial world. It grows quickly and can easily become unmanageable if left unchecked. So what do? We prioritize it. Paying off high-interest debt first can save you a lot in the long run. It's like removing the largest hurdle first in a hurdle race, the rest become more manageable. Now, onto our third strategy, seeking financial advice. The financial world can be complex and sometimes we need a guide. Financial advisors can provide insights into investment opportunities, tax benefits, and retirement planning. They can help you create a personalized financial plan that aligns with your goals. It's like having a personal trainer, but for your finances. Our final point is about ownership. Take control of your financial situation. Understand your debts, create a plan, and stick to it. Remember, you're the captain of your financial ship. Don't let the waves of debt steer you off course. So, whether you're a millennial or part of Gen Z, these strategies can help you navigate the complex world of personal finance. Budgeting, prioritizing high-interest debt, seeking financial advice, and taking ownership of your finances are not just strategies, they are tools for financial empowerment. Remember, it's never too early or too late to take control of your financial future. It's time to break free from the chains of debt and pave the way for a financially secure future.